So people watching, how does that work? You go and you do the regular army training that everyone else is doing, and also alongside that, you learn a trade.
Yeah, so what I did was like 3 months learning. So day one, week one in Lichfield, 50 blokes in a corridor. This is the real army. Wake up, turn your phones off, your mum's no longer wiping your ass. And then they basically own you for a while. And then after that, I go to Kent, so somewhere down in Kent or Gibraltar Barracks, I think it is. And they teach you how to do combat engineering.
Do you not know where you went because there's a bag over your head while they're driving you?
The whole thing was a bag over 11 years.
So the bag off, where am I?
You can't say that. Lawsuits gone through. But then combat engineering, so 10 weeks down there learning how to blow stuff up, find mines, boats.
Everything you need as a gas engineer.
Yeah. And then after that, it's almost like, right, the real army training stops, you're going to go to Chatham and you're going to become a civ. You're basically a civvy, but in green kit, and you're just learning how to bend pipe, hang radiators, full central heating systems.
And is that like an army barracks? They've got their own college?
An army barracks, but it's almost like a college.
Right.
So in the morning you'll do phys, so you'll do maybe an hour or two PT, and then...
Sounds right on my street, this does.
You missed your calling, mate.
Do you get to have cold showers as well?
No, but did you have to cut your hair?
It's one shower.
Did you have to cut your hair because this is a big...
You got to cut your hair.
Oh,
You can't have that beard. And then you go to the real army, and then you forget that they've given you all these MVQs. And then 5, 6, 7 years down the line, they say you need to come back and do the next level. And in the plumbing industry, that's gas. And you're like, I don't want to go back. And then you go back and you do it, and you get given your gas qualifications. And then most people will go, I can become a civvy with this. And then that's when the transition starts. So they'll maybe not want to go back being a soldier and then think, right, I've got a qualification here to go on Civvy Street and earn some money. And that's what they do. But then there is a lot of lads who weren't Royal Engineers and weren't as lucky as me. So the Infanteers, which is a lot of them on Instagram, Royal Marines, Parachute Regiment, all that kind of stuff, who have to do it as they're leaving the army. So
okay, so they have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Right, I'm leaving soon, what am I going to do? Then they have to train.
Yeah. And then the army will give you funding towards that as well. So when I left, they give me like a couple of grand to go and get my commercial qualifications. So, and then you pay a certain amount and then they'll pay, rather than just dumping you out on the street, because there's a lot of soldiers on the street just a bit clueless, homeless, they will try and help you out. So it's a good thing.
It's obviously a massive transition coming out of the army. And
well, even when you, like you said, that you go into it doing one thing, you then get pushed into another thing, and then to switch the mind back to, hold on a minute, I've got to go back to that, must be a bit like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, you hold on a minute, I'm used to doing this now, and then you're getting told, actually, you got to go back to...
So I think I left, in training, I left Kent in England in May, and then flew to Germany. Come September, so we're talking May, June, July, August, September. 4 months later, I'm in Afghanistan. Like, what? I was still a kid, like.
Yeah.
But that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, then don't get it. And then you just, that's it, really. You just, once you're in the army, it's kind of like they own you. You become, you're in the mould. Until one day, like me, I woke up and thought, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I've got to corporal, in charge of a couple of blokes, and I was just like, I need to further myself. So and I've got a qualification in plumbing. Let's go try it out. Fired a CV out there and said, look, the army will pay me for the next 6 months. Do you want a bloke for free with the certificates, but no idea what's going on?
I mean, do you think? Like, looking at your work now, because obviously the transferable skills from the army that I would sort of look at from the outside, because I've had no army training at all, is that, you can get up in the morning. Yeah. You can probably organise yourself. You know how to polish a pair of boots and pick yourself up and crack on.
He's watched Full Metal Jacket.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, those are the transferable skills where it's sort of like, to go into a trade. You've like, there are some trades where they're not organised or whatever, but do you think that's helped you? Yeah. In that sense of like, that,
because you've got that discipline, haven't you? Like, the main thing of being in the army is just being disciplined, and learn how to take discipline as well. Because when you first start, you might think you're Jack the Lad, the mouthy guy, but they will literally break you down to the bottom. Not physically, but they'll just mould you, so they'll reshape you as a person, man, woman, or whatever you want to be, and then you'll just become institutionalised in a way, and everything you do will evolve around the army because you work 24 hours a day, you're getting paid 24 hours a day. Like, you can't just say, like in a civvy job in Tesco's, you can go in and say, I'm done. This is crap. In the army, you can't. You got to give them a year's notice. So I gave him a year's notice, and then that was it. I was just like, look, I want to further myself and just try something new. But my dad's in the army as well, so that was the hardest phone call, phoning him.
Are you from because some family, a bit like obviously you with the plumbing and certain generations, like you tend to follow sometimes what
the whole family, yeah. It's all police officers, narcos, and soldiers. So my uncle was a Coldstream.
So don't come round and rob your house. Any burglars listening?
His van's a tank. Get into that.
But yeah, so my dad spent like my whole life in the army. So when I pulled out of college, he was just like, right, by the neck, straight down the careers
Did you grow up in like army?
In Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
But it got to a time where I got to like 10 years and I just thought, I'm a corporal now. Once you get to sergeant, the kind of rule of thumb is you're a made man. So you get to sergeant, you get your half pension, 12 years, banging the table, and then you're basically halfway. So what people do is go for the next 12 years and stay in for 24 years, and then that's it, isn't it? So I just thought, right, sack the half pension off. I'll go and try my luck in the plumbing game, and I got lucky.
Do you miss any of it?
Miss a lad, yeah. Yeah.
So when you get to 12 years and you get a pension,
you get a half pension, yeah, and then you get a bit.
But
of
you
pocket
left
money.
at 10.
Yeah, well, 11, yeah.
11, and
so I had a year to push, but my mind was just in pieces. Like I just couldn't.
Yeah, and that was your choice to leave. And do they? I don't know anything about this, but do they make it hard for you? Do they try and persuade you not to leave? Obviously, they've helped you out.
They do their best to try and keep you in. Like there is a stigma about it, where once you're in the army, they will tell you there's no jobs out on Civvy Street, mate. There's no point leaving. You know what I mean? But you've got to just take the plunge and get out there, because there's loads of work out there. And if you have on your CV that you're ex-forces, you're disciplined, you've got a skill set, you've got the mentality, you've got ambition, you stuck the army out for 10 years, they're just like, right, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like they help you out with the trade.
Yeah.
And they encourage you to better yourself with that.
One thing is they will not let you leave without a plan. Right. So that year you've got for leaving is all about planning your future. So you go for a lot of interviews, you go a lot of trade shows, you almost get given like a personal aid to start putting you on courses.
I think there's been a lot of bad publicity where people have just been left to walk out, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe they put more focus on it. I don't know, but
potentially, yeah. I can't speak for any other bloke. Like, I'm speaking about myself. So,
you know, plumbing then now. So what age were you when you got into
leaving the army?
Yeah.
4 years ago now.
And you're 33.
You look 33.
Well, I didn't know what you were going to say then. Sometimes I went.
I don't look 33.
I go 30. Just in case somebody goes, I'm 29, and you're like 30. Yeah, 29.
Let's say 30. Cut that, put 30 on there.
So 27 then, 27ish. And
yeah. Just fired the CV out there. Said, I'll come work for free. The army are going to pay my wages for the next 6 months or so, and just got snapped up, and then learn the process, learn how to plumb, how to be an engineer, and then went and worked on social housing for 2 years, which was a proper brain rattler.
Yeah.
In the deep end, it's got to be fixed first time every time, and you just see again another how certain people live.
I mean, that's another one as well, because some of the social housing stuff that people work on as well is, you think, how do people live in those scenarios in some of the places that you go to?
Yeah, you got to remain professional all the time, haven't you? Like, there's no filming, there's just no nothing. But the social housing firm that I worked on was a zero policy, no filming, no talking, GDPR. They've got rights. They might be in social housing for a reason, but yeah, it's some of them are in a bad way, and some of them are vulnerable, and you gotta treat them as your own, really, and as a private customer, as a normal human being. And then the boss approached me and said, do you want to come work on the caravans? And I said, yeah, sweet. That's how it landed. Now I work on the coast, where it's all just fun and games.
And laid back lifestyle.
Oh,
Have you got a plan for future?
Yeah, that I will be my own boss one day, as a matter of fact. That's a fact, isn't it? I've left the army for the freedom, so I might as well carry on the journey. But I'm still learning the game. Like, I'm learning the trade every day.